What's up everybody and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a little bit different. Some of you have been requesting that I do a Q&A so you guys can get to know me a little bit better. So that's what I'm going to do today. When I first started YouTube, I always told myself that I would keep my personal life personal and then my channel strictly makeup related, but so many people have just wanted to get to know me a little bit better, so I figured let me do this Q&A video so you guys can get to know me a little bit more and maybe we can relate on a couple of points, who knows. I went on Twitter and I asked everybody who follows me on that platform what kinds of questions you wanted me to answer. I did get some responses back and April asked a lot of really great questions. April, how you doing, girl? So April, you asked, I will answer. Your first question was around siblings. How many siblings do I have and what is my relationship like with them? I have two brothers, one who lives maybe 10 minutes away from my house and then another who lives in Greece. So he doesn't live in Canada, he lives over in Greece. So the brother who lives in Greece, he is the eldest. His name is Diamond, or Diamandi in Greek for all of my Greek viewers. Yeah, Diamond, pretty cool name, huh? He and I, I've always said we're related by DNA and that's about the extent of our relationship. So I don't really talk to him very much. I might call on Christmas and on Easter to say Happy Easter and Merry Christmas, but that's about the extent of our relationship. My middle brother, you've probably seen in a couple of vlogs already. His name is Ruli. His full name is Trianos. He's named after the Roman Emperor Trajan, for anybody who's wondering. I grew up with him. Diamond, I never really knew growing up. He would come maybe once every 5 or 6 years just to say hi for a quick visit, and that was about it. Ruli lived in Canada. We lived in the same house. We grew up together, so he and I are definitely a lot closer, even though we are quite a ways away in age. He's pushing 50 right now, which is a bit crazy for me to say, and I am 33, so we are a little bit apart in age, but it was always really cool having an older brother. I remember when I would go to Greek school, I would dread it. My mom sent me to Greek school. Oh, good Lord. I had to go Tuesdays and Thursdays in the evenings right after English school. And my dad would drop me off and then my brother would come and pick me up. And I always felt like the coolest kid because my brother would show up in this Javelin like AMX muscle car with the exhaust just like ringing down the neighborhood. It was just so loud. He would show up, I would pop in this cool car, and then we would drive home, and on our way home we would always stop at a Max convenience store and we would pop in, we would get a pack of Upper Deck hockey cards, and that was kind of my treat after Greek school. And then we would come home and we would look through all of the hockey cards to see if we got any really cool players. That was kind of a ritual for Ruli and myself. Anyways, Ruli and I have such fond memories. He's now a father of 3. My beautiful, beautiful nephews, Nico, Marco, and Stavro. I love those boys to pieces. You've probably seen them on my Snapchat as well as in a couple of my vlogs. I love those boys so much. I treat them like my own children. And for anyone wondering, no, I do not have children, but I definitely want babies in the future. April's next question is around embarrassing experiences in high school and which one was my most embarrassing. And I don't know if I have a most embarrassing story. I mean, I was pretty quiet and pretty shy, believe it or not. I didn't have a huge group of friends. I just had a couple of people who were really, really close to me, and I kind of preferred to keep it that way, even though I got along with everybody. I didn't dislike anyone. I don't think anybody disliked me, and if they did, I had no idea. But yeah, it was pretty quiet. The only thing I can remember, and I think this probably takes me back to either grade 9 or grade 10, they had this auction for a charity. I can't even remember what the charity was, but basically some of the upper year students were auctioning themselves off so you can spend a day with and just hang out or whatever. I can't remember the specifics of it, but basically I had a crush on one of the guys who was auctioning themselves off. He was in his final year of high school and I really, really wanted to buy him. I spent $45 on him and I made sure I got a full day out of him. So he basically hung out with my friends and I during our lunch period. He went and he got me lunch. Yeah, it was just really, really chill. And at the end of that day, I felt like we had just gotten to be friends. Like, I actually enjoyed his company. I thought he was enjoying mine. And I took a leap of faith and I asked him out and he said no. So I felt a little embarrassed about it, but I was like, you know what? At least I tried. I went home. I didn't really think much of it. And then the next day I had all of the grade 13s just mocking me because this guy basically went around and told all of the upper year students that I had asked them out and he had turned me down. So that was a little embarrassing, but whatever. Things blow over, you move on. Not a big deal, but I definitely remember feeling really, really awful for at least a week in school. April also asked if she could see a baby picture. I would love to share one with you, so I'm gonna go hunt around, find a couple of pictures, and I will insert them into this clip here. My mom always tells me I was a gigantic baby. I was born at 9 pounds and something ounces. I was pretty big. She ended up having to have a C-section because I just would not come out the natural way. And I had these big, chubby cheeks. I was very, very round, but I was a happy baby for the most part. I remember my mom always saying that I always wanted her and that anytime she would try to pass me off to somebody else, I would just start wailing and crying and I wouldn't calm down. The only other person that I was okay with was my adopted grandfather, my papu. He was one of my dad's oldest friends here in Canada. They both knew each other when they first moved here from Greece, and he was really the only person that I would be okay and calm with whenever he held me. Whenever my mom had any emergency or an appointment, she would always leave me with him because she knew I was gonna be okay. April's next question is around tattoos. Do I have any? And if I do, what do they mean? Why did I get them? That sort of thing. I actually don't have any tattoos. It's something that I think I've always really wanted to get one, but I've never been able to decide what I would get. I'm very indecisive that way, and this is a lifelong commitment. It's not like I can get rid of it once it's on my body. I'm sure I can, but I don't want to put something on my body and then remove it. That wasn't the point of it in the first place. So I don't have anything, but I would love to see if I can get something in the future. I just have no idea what it would be. But on a side note, I am absolutely terrified of needles. The next question comes from Ida or Ida. I'm sorry if I'm not pronouncing your name correctly, but she does ask me what are some of the best colors to use for a Valentine's Day look or just to wear on Valentine's Day. For me, I'd say whatever you feel most comfortable with. I don't think there is a standard for what you should or should not wear. I like a lot of nude, sort of bronze and gold tones, so that's probably what I would gravitate more towards. Maybe a champagne color. I like to keep my looks relatively simple, unlike what you see today. I actually did a tutorial on this look a little bit earlier. It does come down to personal preference, and for me, I would keep things simple. I'd want maybe like a nice metallic color all over my lid, a darker color just to give some dimension on the outer corner of my eye, and then maybe a nice warm smoky brown to blow out the crease and just give a nice gradient to the whole look. I'd throw on some lashes and I'd be good to go. That's kind of what I would do for makeup. In terms of what I would wear, I mean, for me, it's all about comfort. I would put on some stretchy jeans, some flat shoes or boots, and I would wear probably a tank top, a t-shirt, maybe a dressier blouse, just something very simple, very flowy. I don't want anything too constricting, but yeah, that's what I would do. Oh, and lipsticks. I forgot all about lipstick. I love red tone, so anything with a red tone I would be all over, but I also like a lot of natural tones on lips. And just some other questions that I randomly just came up with in case anybody was interested in learning this. After I graduated from high school, I did go straight into university. I spent 5 years there. Yes, I took a victory lap because I happened to change my major a few times, but I did graduate with an arts degree in English and classics. And for anybody who doesn't know what classics is, it is the study of the ancient world, both language, literature, and history. So I basically immersed myself in the ancient worlds of Greece, Rome, and Egypt, as well as the Near East. And yes, I do know how to translate Latin and ancient Greek. I can be a nerd. After After my undergrad, I did go to a master's program to focus on classics. I started my master's degree in 2008, which was the time of the recession, and it was just one of those odd times where I was in school, I had no idea what was really going on in the world, what the job situation was like. All I knew is that I loved academia. I loved being in the university environment. I loved learning and hearing from others. I loved engaging in discussion and researching and writing, that sort of thing. So I thought a master's degree would be a natural next step because I wanted to continue on to be a professor. Yes, that is what I wanted to do with my life. When I got into my master's program, things changed very, very quickly for me. I realized within the first year that it wasn't what I was expecting. I really struggled. By the end of second year, and this program was only 2 years long, I basically had fulfilled almost all of the requirements to graduate. But anyhow, all I had to do was write my thesis, which was my big major research paper, and then I would be ready to graduate. And something inside of me just wasn't motivated to do it. I started gaining interest in so many other things, and the master's program I felt just wasn't for me. There were some things that I discovered about certain professors and students, and I just didn't like the feeling that I was getting, and I felt like I didn't really have a great supervisor either, someone who was really encouraging. I kind of got crapped on a lot, and maybe a lot of it was because of things that I wasn't doing or was doing, I don't know, but it wasn't for me. So I ended up dropping out of the program, and I got a phone call from a friend of mine at this fortuitous time. It was incredible. This is from my best friend Lindsay, the one who recently had a baby that I absolutely love, Clara June. She's adorable. But Lindsay called me up basically, and she said that there's a job available at my old school. I went to York University, for anyone who's wondering, and there was a job that was a contract that was coming up for 4 months. It was a recruiting job. And I said, you know what? Absolutely. I think that's going to be a really good fit for me. It was something that I was really interested in when I was at school. I volunteered in that particular office. I also worked in that office for a period of time as well. So I applied for the job. One thing led to another. I got hired, and then that's kind of where I began building my career. I ended up being really, really fortunate that, you know, a program that I thought was going to take me down a certain path ended up taking me down a very different path. And I will be forever thankful for every experience that led me to this point and to where I am today. Damn, that was a long story. A question that I get asked pretty often is where I live, and I think that's why I decided to put it in an FAQ section that I have as a permanent sort of installment in my description box, so people know I do live in Canada, I live in the province of Ontario, and I live in a city just outside of Toronto. The city is called Brampton. It has been my home for a number of years. This is where I've basically grown up. Winters are cold, summers are hot, fall and spring, great temperatures, but yeah, this has always been home for me. But my life was very different as a kid. I mean, as an adult, things are a lot more different, but when I was a kid, I basically grew up in a very immigrant-centric home. My parents both immigrated over to Canada from Greece, and my mom would go back very, very frequently when I was a baby. I would be in Greece for 6 months of the year and then in Canada for 6 months of the year. So believe it or not, I didn't learn to speak English until I actually went to kindergarten. I went to kindergarten being fluent in Greek and not understanding a lick of English. So they stuck me in an ESL class, and I did that for I think 2 or maybe 3 years until I became proficient, and the rest is kind of history. But my mom always tells this story, and I'll never forget it. The teachers were really frustrated with her when she first tried to enroll me in kindergarten because I didn't know English. They were basically telling her that she screwed me over for life because I would never learn English. And my mom was like, hang on a second. My daughter lives in Canada. She's around English all the time. She watches English TV. She hears it from people. Like, she's gonna learn the language really quick. She's so young. She's a sponge. She'll absorb. Just help her along the way. And all the teachers were like, no, she's not gonna learn, she's not gonna learn. Well, let me tell you, even though I was in ESL for almost 3 years, I learned English within the first 6 months of being in school. So, ha! It can be done. My mom was most worried that I would lose my fluency in Greek, and she always wanted me to be able to communicate with my family in Greece because everybody in my extended family is in Greece. The only people that I have living in Canada and North America are very few and far between. And in Greece, my family is from Thessaloniki, which is the city up north. It is the second largest city in Greece next to Athens. And we call Thessaloniki the Magikia Poli, which is like the magical city. There's such a uniqueness about Thessaloniki. It's got this beautiful charm to it. You get the best of both worlds. You get this beautiful ancient city because you see ruins everywhere, but then you also see the juxtaposition of this beautiful sort of modern up and coming city as well. It's absolutely stunning. I do know I have some Greek subscribers as well, so for my Greek subscribers, I want to say ευχαριστώ πάρα πολύ που είστε εδώ στο YouTube μαζί μου. Σας αγαπώ πάρα πολύ και ελπίζω να σας δω στην Ελλάδα μια μέρα. Basically, I just said I love all of my Greek subscribers. Thank you for being here on YouTube with me, and I hope to see you in Greece one day. So I guess that kind of brings me to another point. Wow, I'm going off on all these tangents. I do speak multiple languages, so I do speak English, I am fluent in Greek, I am very slowly learning Spanish. I can read and translate French with probably an intermediate competency level, although I can't really speak it very well. If you speak slowly enough, I will be able to understand. And same goes with Spanish. I can read it and understand it because of my Latin background, but if you tried to speak it with me, you'd have to go pretty slow so I could understand. And because of my former job, I would often travel to Asia and China in particular. So I did pick up a little bit of Mandarin when I was over there. Nothing, like, don't get me wrong, I can't carry a full conversation or anything, but, you know, I can say, "Wo jiao Dimitra," which is, you know, "Hi, my name is Dimitra." I can say some really bad words, which I should not be saying on this channel. But I also know how to ask for a receipt because I always had to provide receipts for work. Chinge, fapiao. I'm probably butchering the tones on that, but that's basically give me a receipt. But yeah, so I love dabbling in languages, picking up a little bit here and there. I want to be that person who can travel to any part of the world and at least be able to say one or two things to somebody. I think I've droned on long enough, but I'm just going to end this video by talking about some of the goals I have for myself for 2018. There's nothing revolutionary here, and I don't normally like to set goals just because it's January 1st and it's the start of a new year. I like to set periodic goals throughout the year. I guess you could say one of my big goals for 2018 is to put a lot of focus and energy into my YouTube channel as well as my audience. I really want to be able to engage with you. I want you to get to know me better. I want you to let me know what you would like to see in terms of content on this channel, and I'll see what I can do about that. But yeah, just see where I can take this. And for me, this YouTube channel, it's not a source of income for me. Believe me, I make like no money off of this channel. That's not the reason I do it. I do this because I am so passionate about makeup and product reviews and skincare and everything that I've researched and tried. I want to be able to share all of that knowledge with you, my friends, with my family. And honestly, this stuff is just fun for me. I enjoy talking into a camera because sometimes the camera just, you know, can't talk back to me. And something else that is really big for me in 2018, and this definitely started in 2017, probably midway, is to really get back into health and fitness. It's something that I was really into a number of years ago. I had gotten to, you know, a really great point in my life, and then I got injured. I had an ankle injury which took me out for a number of years. Surgery didn't help, and I lost a lot of the physical endurance and muscle that I had previously gained. And now that I'm getting back into the gym, I'm working with a trainer, I'm trying to feel stronger and become a better version of myself essentially, and gain back a lot of the confidence that I had lost. Anyways, I'm just gonna end it here because this is probably information overload for you. If there are any other questions that you want to ask me or things that you're just curious about, leave them in the comment section below and I will do my best to get through all of those questions for you. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please make sure you give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel in case you aren't already. You can also connect with me on all of my social media. Yes, I've got Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat. You name it, I'm on it. I'm gonna link everything for you in the description box below. Thank you again so much for watching. I hope you are all having an amazing day, no matter where you are in the world. Stay beautiful, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.